equations. First, we can remember for one variable. Whenever we talk about the linear equations, we have to remember the idea of linear polynomials. You remember the idea or the concept of linear polynomial. A. Then after remembering this concept of linear polynomial, then we have to remember for equation where we will find equality sign in between left and the right. So you tell me any example of linear polynomial. So let us take x plus 5. This is a linear polynomial in the variable x. Why do we call this as a linear polynomial? Because the degree of the variable, or the power of the highest power of the variable in this polynomial is 1. 1 is the highest power of the variable, and therefore we call this as the one variable linear polynomial. So if I make this linear polynomial equal with a number or with another polynomial with different coefficients of this left and the right, so if I take like this, then the left hand side becomes a linear polynomial and we have equality again with the number this. Therefore we can say that x to the power 1 plus 5 is equal to 10. This is a linear equation in one variable. Similarly, you can take, instead of x, you can also use for y. So suppose if I write y minus 2. Y minus 2 is again a linear polynomial. Let us write the equality sign, and on the right side let us put some other numbers like this. This is again a linear polynomial, a linear equation in one variable. So we finish all these things in class 9. Again, if we talk about two variables, when we talk about the two variables, then we have to remember two variables, x and the y, the same way. See, if I write like this, this is a linear polynomial. The highest power of both the variables are 1. Therefore, we can call this as linear polynomial. And let us use equality sign with a number 5 or something else. So this becomes a linear equation again in two variables. In class 9 also, we find the solution of these such type of equations, and we also discuss the graph of such type of equations in class 9. So let us remember all these things before coming to the pair of linear equations in two variables for class 10. Is it clear? Okay. So you remember these two, linear polynomial and equality sign in between left and the right. In general, how can you write a linear polynomial? Linear equation. Generally, for a linear equation in one variable, we write like this, is equal to 0. Here, it is a linear equation in one variable. A and the v are two real numbers, and a is not 0. A cannot be 0. B can be 0, it doesn't matter, but A should not be 0. Because if A becomes 0, then this term will vanish and we will not see any variable. We will see simply a relation between the numbers. Therefore, this should not be 0. Then, again, for two variables, what is the general form of linear equation in two variables? We can write ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Here again, a, b and c are real numbers. They are the real numbers, and A cannot be 0, B cannot be 0. Okay, so this is the general form of linear equation in two variables. Now let us remember graph. After knowing all these things in detail, now let us remember the graph of a linear equation in two variables. Graph of linear equation in two variables. Introductory class. Graph of linear equation in two variables. Let us take any equation like this. Okay, let us take this example. How did we find the graph of this linear equation? In class 9th, we write one of the variables in terms of the others. So let us transpose x to the right side and we will get like this. After knowing such a relation of one variable with respect to the other in terms of the other, then we have to find the pair of values of x and y. We need minimum 2 points for drawing the graph of a linear equation in two variables. You can take minimum 2 points because if we know 2 points, then we can easily get a straight line. The graph of a linear equation in two variables is always a straight line. We already remember all these things. Now, if I take x0, 4 minus 0 becomes 4. If I take again x1, 4 minus 1, this will become 3. Similarly, you can take negative values of x also. You can take positive values. It doesn't matter. Now let us take 2. Like this. After knowing these pairs of values of x and y, what did we do? We plotted all these points in the Cartesian pair. So this is the Cartesian pair. This is your y, x. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus 1, minus 2, like this. Again, for the negative values also, you can mark like this. This is the origin. We can write as O. Next, 0. When x is 0, y is 4. It means that this point 0, 4 lies on the y-axis. Because the x-coordinate of every point on the y-axis is always 0. Therefore, this 0, 4 lies on the y-axis. This is the point here. Then 1, 3. First quadrant. Then 2, 2. Like this. 2, 2. Then after joining, we will get a straight line passing through the point. This is 2, 2. 1, 3, 0, 4. And this is the graph of, whose graph is this? X plus y is equal to 4. So what we observe is that this line AB represents the graph of this equation x plus y is equal to 4. This is only for one linear equation in two variables. And one thing we have to remember is that how many points can you find on this straight line? Obviously, there are infinite points. There are infinite points on this line AB. If you take any point lying on this line, say if I take 3, this point will pass to 3, 1 also. If I consider this point 3, 1, then this point will, as this point lies on this line, therefore this will become, satisfy this equation. Like this, we can have infinite points lying on this area. Every point lying on this line will give the solution of this linear equation. It means that 0 and the 4, x equal to 0 and y equal to 4 is a solution of this linear equation. Again, x equal to 1 and y equal to 3, this is another solution. Like this, we can have infinite solution. As the line has infinite points, then we can say that there are infinite solutions. There are infinite solutions for a linear equation in two variables. And every point lying on this line AB will satisfy this equation, and every point will give a solution of this equation as well. This is for only a single linear equation in two variables. But in class 10, here is a very important word, pair. Pair of linear equations in two variables. So, remembering the graph of a linear equation in two variables being a straight line, now you think of a pair of linear equations. Okay, so instead of taking only one line, if we take linear equation number 1, linear equation number 2. Now you think that what will be the probable graphs of these two linear equations in two variables? The general form is like this. This is the first and this is the second. If I consider such a pair of linear equations in two variables, then what will be the possible graphs, possible lines? Now you think of, this is the Cartesian plane or this is the plane surface. On this plane surface, how can you draw two lines? Because each of these linear equations in two variables will represent, the graph will be a straight line. The first one is also a straight line, the second one is also a straight line if we draw their graphs. So what are the possible lines which we can draw? Obviously, the first one will be intersecting lines. Okay? To draw two lines on the plane surface means we may draw like this. This is line number 1 and this is line number 2. They are intersecting at this very point P. And this point P lies on both the lines. What is the meaning of this? It means that if I consider this as alpha and the beta, if I consider this, the coordinates of this point is alpha and the beta, it means that x equal to alpha, y equal to beta will satisfy both the equations. Therefore, this is the common solution. We call this as the common solution of these two equations. Next possibility, the lines may be parallel. The lines may be parallel. Because whenever someone asks you to draw two lines on a plane surface, we may draw as an intersecting line. We may also draw as parallel lines. Parallel lines like this. L1 and L2. Okay, the two lines may be parallel. Here in this case, they do not intersect, so there is no common point of these two lines. So we say that there is no common solution of these two pair of equations. Still, can we have any other pair of lines which can be? Yes, we can have still another. What is that? Coincident lines. Okay, how will you draw this? Coincident lines means that both the equations will represent a single line. Both the equations will represent a single line. Okay, both the equations, the first one as well as second one, will represent the same straight line. So we call this as coincident lines. So these are the three possible cases whenever a pair of linear equations in two variables are given. The first one, intersecting lines. Second one, parallel lines.